we're hanging on every single word, Timothy.
Hey, Elvis.
Yes.
Elvis, I love you, man.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.
Wait, is that Timothy? Timothy, is that you? Are you eavesdropping on our conversation?
I'm here. Can they see me?
We can see you. We can see you, so stay dressed, if you will.
Fantastic. Nice to see you guys.
Good to see you. I know you're in London, but we're in New York. How long did you live in New York earlier in your life?
Are you kidding me, man? I grew up listening to you. I grew up listening on the way Elvis Duran and the Z Morning Zoo, baby.
Hey!
I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. Is it the same? Is it the same title?
We got rid of the zoo part.
Well, listen. What an honor to be on here. Listen, at 7:20, if I'm correct, at 7:20 a.m. sharp, you used to do the prank calls. My dad and I would listen, but sometimes you guys would veer into quote unquote vulgar territories. What my dad would say, so then I couldn't listen to it.
Oh, really?
Still do.
It's kind of funny, Timothy, because a lot of kids, they will purposefully stay away from their parents during those.
Yeah.
They call them phone taps. And they were very now we're vulgar all 4 hours. We don't just do it. So
Perfect.
Love all, serve all.
Hey, let's get into it. Go ahead.
Let's get into it.
No, I don't want to get into it. What were we going to say?
Oh, well, I've said a couple of fucks in my day.
Oh my gosh! See, we just had to push the button. You can't.
We're just pushing the edge. We're pushing the edge.
By the way, we just had to push the dump button.
We're back in that vulgar territory.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna pull it back. PG-13.
All right, let's get into it.
I love him.
First of all, we were so lucky to see A Complete Unknown, which is out Christmas Day, by the way. And to watch you do what you do is pretty amazing. I don't think you'll ever be as amazed as we are watching any human being be able to pull off what you did with this Bob Dylan character, with Bob Dylan.
I appreciate it. Well, I had 5.5 years to work on this, and I was supposed to shoot it 4 years ago. Then the pandemic hit. Then I was supposed to shoot it a year and a half ago, and the actor's strike hit. So I just had a lot of time to sit with this material, a lot of time to play the guitar, play the harmonica, bother everyone in my life with my Bob Dylan singing. But I think the work was worth it. And Bob Dylan, as you I'm sure know, and many of your listeners, is a titanic artist. He's one of the most influential artists in American history. So I wanted to do justice to this guy, and I'm prideful about the character because when you think about Elvis Presley or Mick Jagger or Paul McCartney or John Lennon or these kind of titans of the 60s, they're not elusive figures in the sense that we know what their faces look like, we know what their interviews look like. But Bob Dylan is such a mysterious figure, I think, to my generation. A lot of people know the name is iconic, but they don't necessarily know the face. They don't necessarily know the music.
Right.
So I want to be like a humble bridge to this period and to this music.
So you must be somewhat grateful that you had writer strikes and pandemics. It gave you longer to learn how to finger pick your guitar and play a harmonica and sing and sound like Bob Dylan.
I mean, listen, the time was an absolute blessing. I'm not going to say the pandemic was a blessing for my role because I think a lot of people would go, wait a second, this kid is out of his mind. That was the worst time in our modern history. But, so anyway. It just gave me a ton of time. I'll never get this much time to work on a role ever again, 5.5 years. But this artist is worth it. This man is worth it. And, we wanted to do him justice and also do justice to the fans of Bob Dylan's work that wouldn't feel like we committed an act of blasphemy, Yeah.
Right. What goes into something like that when you're actually playing a real life character, not just, a character that's made up? Like, how much preparation do you do, and what's the first thing that you dive into to prepare?
Well, the preparation was endless. Bob Dylan, as I'm sure you guys well know, is a peculiar fellow in his behaviors and his mannerisms, and He's an inward guy. He's mysterious. That's why I was, bringing up these other names before that were sort of, in my worldview, more forward-facing entertainers. Bob was really a lyricist. He's a Pulitzer Prize-winning lyricist and thinker and writer and poet, really. So there's the aspect of getting the behaviors down, how he carried himself, how he would carry himself in situations with the women in his life, how he carried himself with the press, studying all the footage that was available. Most importantly was the music, getting the music down. But that was almost the easiest part in the sense that I love this music. It was a privilege and a joy to get to work on this. And lastly is all the excavating of stones that, when you get to act at this level, you have to do, like retracing his footsteps through Madison, Wisconsin, and Chicago, going to Minnesota, where he was born, and Hibbing, and then Duluth, and spending time in Minneapolis, where he was in college for a little bit, spending time in an area called Dinkytown in Minneapolis, believe it or not, hey man, that's just what it's called, man. That's just what it's called. Don't hit that swear button. Nothing wrong. It just sounds a little untowardly. It just sounds a little dinky town. But that's where he discovered folk music, And so I tried to do everything, but it was easy. This didn't become work at some point. Like I said, I love this artist, and it's well worth it. I think we did a great job at the movie spotlighting this great artist in this great period in American history. No matter how boring that sounds to people, the 1960s, this was the time, man. This was like, and I'm a child of hip hop. I grew up on Elvis Duran and the Z Morning Zoo, baby. So
that's me. I'm the king of hip hop.
Really, exactly.
That's what we call him.
Very street.
Well, not. I guess if I wasn't getting my fix, I would scroll down to 97.1. In all honesty, but
I hit the dump button.
I hit the dump button right now. But Elvis, I grew up with what was on the menu musically. I didn't listen to the '60s stuff because my mom listened to show tunes and my dad listened to old French classics. So I had a weird musical upbringing. So now I got to dive into this music, and Bob Dylan was my gateway into stuff that's more obvious in a sense, like the Beatles or the Rolling Stones or the Kinks or Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix was a massive fan of Bob. So this was the ultimate education.
Timothée Chalamet, of course, the new movie A Complete Unknown, all about Bob Dylan, and it's out December 25th. He's alive right now, saying what he wants to say, obviously, and from London. Yes, Gandhi.
So, you were with this for 5.5 years. You're studying somebody else. And I heard that when you do these roles, part of it always lives with you, even after you're done. Which parts have stuck with you?
I don't know. I feel like the whole experience stuck with me. There's a part in a Bob Dylan documentary called Don't Look Back. At the end, he's just played for the Queen of England and the Beatles in a sold out Royal Albert Hall. And then he's kind of like smoking a cigarette, and he turns to his friends and he goes, I feel like I just went through a thing, man. And that's the best description of how I can express. I really feel like I went through a thing. I've never turned my phone off for the entirety of a shoot. I've never sank into something. I don't say it pretentiously. I don't say method acting, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying I had 2.5, 3 months of my life to play this guy. I never get to play him again. So I just went as hard as possible. I went as fucking hard as possible.
Oh, God, Timothy.
Hit that damn dump button right now. Hit that damn dump button.
Oh, my God.
Will you stop and behave yourself?
Jeez.
Apologies. But no, I just, it was a transformative experience, man. I don't know what I took with me. I don't think I talk like him anymore,
No.
I can't see you walking into a Starbucks.
Wait, because you're
Hey,
a good
Elvis, you got a good Dylan, man.
I went hard. I gave it my all.
You're good friends with Austin Butler, right? So I know Austin Butler was saying how when he finished doing Elvis, it was very hard to get out of that character. So it wasn't as hard for you as it was for him?
I guess maybe our processes are different. Austin is absolutely brilliant in Elvis. And one of my favorite things, Austin is such a lovely guy. So I don't think he'd ever really be confrontational. But I remember talking about it with him once, and he's like, listen, man, I know, I don't think he would mind me saying this. He said, I know Elvis in and out. Like, you don't think if I really wanted to sound like Elvis, I could sound like Elvis? His point being that, maybe some aspects had remained with him, but if he was going full Elvis, we would really know. You know what I mean? Maybe that wasn't as funny to you guys as it was to me. But
No. I mean, no, we're hanging on every single word, Timothy.
Hey, Elvis.
Yes.
Elvis, I love you, man.
And we love you. I can't wait till you're here live in the studio so we can spank your ass for saying the F word.
Twice.
Yeah, by the way, clarify which F word.
There's so many to choose from. All right, so I'm just loving how we're now finding out, preparing for A Complete Unknown and Bob Dylan, that this wasn't an overnight prep. I mean, you'd rolled out of Dune, you'd rolled out of Wonka.
Which was amazing.
Which all amazing.
I loved Wonka.
But to see you picking that guitar and singing, you're singing live to camera, right? And you're sounding like this guy. I mean, amazing. I mean, do you ever watch any of your work and go, God, I'm effing fantastic? See, that's how I do it.
No. Oh, well, I appreciate it, but this, if you want to talk about disconnect from something like Dune, is so above my pay grade in the sense that it's so meticulously well directed. it's operating on a level cinematography-wise and special effects-wise that I can watch that and really disconnect from the experience because it's so beyond me, in a sense. This Bob Dylan movie, I was so well-researched and so well-versed and so passionate about the material that whatever experience I had doing it, I love the finished product and I'm super proud of it, but it'll never compare to what I went through actually shooting it. You know, the first time I saw it, I had to realize it was a movie, and I love it. But I feel like I went through a biblical passage or something. I swear, I'm really not trying to I'm not trying to sound pretentious, and I'm not trying to be like one of these actors who puffs up their own work, you know, because I haven't talked about, and I love everything I've been in, but this was the thing I spent 5.5 years working on. So honestly, when I watched this, the one time I've watched this, because I only saw one final cut, I honestly just still see moments that I wish I could tinker with, and because this D.A. Pennebaker documentary, man, it's one of the best music documentaries ever. If you love music documentaries, Don't Look Back is sort of like the OG rock and roll documentary. You know, I just see moments in our movie that line up with that, and it makes me very excited. And then I see moments where it doesn't line up, and I wish I could tinker with things still, you know, but...
Well, it's done. Sorry, no tinkering, no tinkering, and no tinkering, no going back to Dinkytown. No, look, thank you so much for spending time with us, and I think
thank you for having me on.
It's so important that people understand all the different genres of music that have made us come to where we are now with the music we listen to today. Folk music is sort of the genres that is kind of kicked to the side that people of today don't really understand, and I think this film is going to help that. And the film makes New York City look kick-ass beautiful. I think that's another great thing about this film. New York City seems to be one of the stars of the show. And I love it. I think it's great. So what do you do now? I mean, what is it like? Because we only have like a minute left with you. What is it like now? Now that the film's in the can, there's nothing you can do to change anything. Is it all what you're doing today with us? Is it all just on the road talking about it?
But this is seriously, it's an honor and it's a joy to get to talk to you. And also, I want to be a bridge to this folk music, you know? Folk music is a man and a woman with a guitar. And what Bob Dylan did in the 60s, which seems trivial now, is he took old Irish ballads, he took old forms of songwriting, and he made them personalized. And you could draw a line to all personalized music from Lana Del Rey to hip-hop to this moment in the 60s, no matter how grand that sounds. And it seems trivial now to put music in the I am form. That's to say, I am going through this, or this person broke my heart, or this is my point of view on this. But Bob sort of had the avant-garde instinct to do that, you know? So this is the part of the process I'm at in this movie now. I'm putting it out, but I love talking to you, and I love hitting the streets, in lack of a better sense, to talk about this, because I'm not pushing some corporate selling point. I'm not pushing some corporate bottom line. This is the real deal. This is Bob Dylan. This is the music of the 60s. And like I started the interview with, you know, it's sort of an untapped period. And seeing artists like McGee explode now, there is an ear for quote unquote like authentic music, you know, stuff that's not hyper edited and hyper processed. People want to hear real stuff, you know, that's my opinion. So anyway, thank you for letting me come on a big platform like this, talking about this film. It's an honor to talk to all of you.
Well, honored to speak with you, Timothée Chalamet. Of course, when you're in New York City, we do want you to come pay a visit. And as we leave you, I know you have to roll. We're gonna play Like a Rolling Stone. Everyone, your version, you.
This is Like a Rolling Stone, written by Bob Dylan, played by me.
There you go, Timothée Chalamet. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
Thank you so much.
It's great speaking with you. Absolutely.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.